Hello again and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be teaching you how to make a generator, as you can see from the background. First off, I do want to say is that as you can see, I've been experimenting with the bit. This one is a little bit messed up, but it still works. As well as this and these other ones right here. I do want to give some info before we move on to our generator for today. And for now, I'm just going to show you the shunt generator that they provided in the mod. Obviously, it uses a power resistor, a rheostat, a generator commuter, and generator clutch, along with one generator housing with copper coils, valves, wires, and shafts, and the generator inductor motor. As you can see here, I have a creative motor moving just at 90 rotations per second. Most of these are moving at 90, except for that one. That one has to move faster. But as you can see, it's spinning, and you can hear a slight hum to it. This hum indicates that it is working. And then as you can see here, we got 142 volts. And all these connections are provided by this device connector, which is also what you would need. If I'm correct, the resistor is just a load that is on. It acts as a load, so you really don't need this. You can try it without it. But this basically regulates the voltage. So we have 146. If I increase it up, so slowly, or it decreases. It's supposed to increase, but I guess we were at max. Either that or wired it incorrectly, which is most likely the case. As you can see, we can reduce the voltage down to a certain level. I think right here we got 130. That's gonna smoke. Yeah, this only acts as a resistor with only 100 ohms to it, but you can still see that it controls the amount of voltage flowing through. However, you really don't need it like this. As you see, the shunt generator is a good idea for constant voltage if you're into that. But you can just work it as well as this. Here I have is a 4x3 generator, all sides covered up with the copper coil shaft and the housings. This is rotating at 90 per second and giving us about 393. Now every housing gives us about 100 extra volts, so this you can consider 1, 2, 3. This should be around 300 with some at the 90 speed, and it's giving us 295, so 5 volts difference. And then here 296 with only 2. Over here on this side is the series generator. So this just doesn't need the housings that you see all of those have. This is just all 3 wires connected together, and they're all connected in series, so you can just plug one of these device connectors into it, and it will just connect the rest. Similar to how you have these housings. As you can see, it doesn't have any voltage despite going 90. This is because this needs to rotate at a higher speed since it's all connected in series. So if we increase this up to 60 per se, hear it going up higher, and as you can see, we get 142 volts. Obviously we can go faster. Let's say 200 rotations RPM. It gives us 200, so every rotation gives us a volt almost. It is good for early game, but for a later game, you're not going to want to use this due to how low the voltage is. Normally, you want to have a full encasing like these. So I'm going to teach you how to make one of these encasings. We're going to start off with this, since this is a decent size for 200 volts with only 90 rotations per second. What you're going to do first is line up these copper coils and shafts to get these nice coil winding. So all you got to do, place 2 shafts right there, right click with the copper coil on one of them, and as you can see, it's going to give you a green particle. Normally if there's nothing connected, it'll give you red. So I'm hovering over this, showing red. Green means, or the red means that there's no connections. Green means there is a connection. Right click it and you get that beautiful copper winding. Next, you can place your generator housing, but you can just use one on each side and also on the top. I'll show you what that will look like. Next, you're going to use your these generator inductor rotors, and this is what needs to be rotated to give the power. You're also going to want to add a generator clutch. As you can see, it's rotating. And this clutch, you can change it as in the previous video to generator motor. Keep it on generator. You can also turn this off with a lever, but I'm not going to do that. It's going to put a generator commuter. This is what sends the power over to here. I'm going to take 2 more shafts, put them on both sides, and repeat the process you did at the bottom. Boom and bam. Now you can stop right here and you can still get a plug, as you can see by here. You really only need 2 coils, but if you need more power, this is a good like mid-game power or early to mid-game power source, I would say. But I think you can do better. Obviously, finish the top coil, add the 2 generator housing to connect them all together, and now you have a small generator. Next, you're gonna take your device connector and you're gonna try to line these up, so wherever direction you're facing, usually the positive to your right. So positive to positive, negative to negative. All right. Then you also want a voltage gauge to monitor how much power you have left. I'm going to set this up to 2000. And you're also going to take any type of wire. I'm using the insulated copper wire for this, as you can dye it. Oh, wait. We rotate that back and I'll flag it out. Oh, don't worry about that. And also you're going to want to have the positive to positive. So just right clicking it on the node, you're going to see it turns blue, which means it, and it'll show you the name at the bottom, negative. Just right click it to the other negative, and there you go. Once you get it wired like this, you can just do what I'm doing if you want to show you where power is flowing. So once you have this, you're obviously going to want to at least get 90 rotations per second. Also be careful with how you rotate it, because if it's not rotated in the right way, you're not going to get any power. As you can see, 196, very similar to this, just less materials. In fact, if I just take these 2, plug that in, because it still needs to be connected. Yeah, same thing. You don't even need the whole set, you just need 3 places, though it does look better and much more nicer clean in my opinion. I did do some testing, and as you can see from here, for the coil windings, you can just line them up almost to, from what I found, like a good chunk. This is about like 64 blocks long, but for the rotors, these are max 8 blocks long, so you can get generators that are not like 4 blocks. Pretty sure you would need a lot of stress units, as this is giving off like 15,000 and you just 1 million, yeah, 15,000, and it goes down each time. 12, 9. The more housings you put, the more expensive and the more stronger your crank source has to be. Resource wise, these are probably really expensive depending on what they have. So if you don't already, make a farm for it, and if you don't have a farm for it, what are you doing? But that's pretty much it. I will be doing a future video on circuits, though I am gonna have to hold on off of that when I do get some free time. If you have any other topics or ideas for me to work on, or stuff you want me to test out, please leave it in the comments, and the most I comment, I'll perform it. But for now, that's it for today. Goodbye.
All my muses left behind.